Hello. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully, y'all are doing well. We are here to do another division preview. We're going to talk NFC East today. If you tuned in last week, we did the NFC North, and we picked out some teams there. Not teams, I guess, bets rather, picks. Had some picks. But yeah, if you're in the chat, say hello. Let me know how y'all are doing. I think that this is like the NFC East this year it's such an interesting conversation, and I think the NFC North was as well. So that's why I picked to start with these two. So before we dive in fully to that preview, kind of just rehashing what's been going on the last over the weekend and yesterday. So we've had some big injury news hit the table here for fantasy football. Obviously, I was already higher than consensus on Jordan. Not Jordan. I was already higher than consensus on Chris Olave. Now with this Jordan Tyson news, just pushes Olave further up for me. I'm probably gonna have Olave like a mid to early second round pick. Like if you could get him at the back end of the second in your draft, I'd feel really good about it, to be honest. Just a really good schedule to start off for him. We saw what he did with Tyler Shugg last year. Now you take Tyson out. Can they pick up another receiver? Yeah, maybe when we get down to the roster cut downs, or maybe they trade for somebody or something. But I mean, Chris Olave is just set up. You guys know I don't own many. I'm not a jersey guy. I don't own many NFL jerseys. I only own two, I think, currently. One of them is Chris Olave. We love Chris Olave here on this channel. So that was a really big piece of news. I think the Kyle Monangai stuff is interesting for DeAndre Swift. I'm pretty bullish on the Bears offense from a fantasy perspective. So, that definitely makes it interesting. You guys know the big draft article that I do every year, which is my kind of Bible on how I'm drafting my teams. That will be dropping before this weekend. So we're kind of in the money season now here. We have this weekend, next weekend, and then Labor Day weekend. So 3 full weekends and then a couple days before the season starts. So now it's we're really in draft mode. So I'm going to make sure I have that article out before this weekend in case you guys are drafting this weekend. Something that I think is interesting to talk through is just the potential to go 0 RB. So now when I say this, Jim, thank you. And Dewan, what's up, Jim? Thank you. I appreciate you very much. We've had a lot of success with that article. I think this will be the 5th year of me doing that style article, and we've had a lot of success with it. Obviously, my strategy for best ball and managed season-long leagues is very, very different. If I'm talking about a managed league where I can use the waiver wire every week, I'm probably competing, unless you're playing FFPC, you're probably competing against your friends or your work, people at your work, people that you can take advantage of, that aren't in the trenches like we are. I don't want to say that you should go 0 RB, but I think that there's more of a conversation. I tweeted this a few weeks ago. There's more of a conversation this year than there has been the last 2 years. Now, if I get this will all be laid out in the article, but if I get a top 2 or 3 pick and I can get Gibbs or Bijan, I'm doing that 100%. I would like to leave. I think I don't even want to say 0 RB. I think just going hero RB is better because I've seen a lot of people that make content talk about going running back. If I could get Gibbs or Bijan in the first, and this is depending on where you pick, but if I can get one of them, or I can get, let me pull up Let me pull up the ADP real quick so I have while we're talking about this. So, like, if I can get Gibbs or Bijan, I don't need to take a running back in the second round, in my opinion. Could you? Yes, but I don't need to. Because if you have Gibbs or Bijan, you're going to be picking at the back end of round 2. I'd much rather take Chris Olave than like Jeremiah Love, Kyron, Breece Hall. Assuming like how drafts go, I'm going to like assume if you're in a 12-team league, Gibbs, by the time, if you were at the back end of the second round, CMC, Taylor, Cook, Genty, Achane, Barkley, Chase Brown, Hampton, Kenny Walker, those guys are probably all gone for sure. And there's a chance Derrick Henry's gone as well. It's really contingent on your draft. But if you're picking back end of round 2 and those guys are gone, I would take Kenneth Walker if he's there for sure. I'm really high on him. You guys know that if you saw my short. I probably would take Derrick Henry. But if those guys are gone and I only have one of them, I don't really like the rest of the running backs. I'd probably be more willing to just wait. So I could see a situation where instead of going running back, I take one of those top. I don't want Taylor on my team this year. I don't want McCaffrey. I don't really want Achane if he's going to be my running back, to be honest with you. So those guys are out for me. So I don't know. I think like there's better guys later when I'm looking at running back, right? So Swift is down there at RB22. I think that's fine, right? As a second option. And that's on the high end. Where I think stuff really starts getting interesting is like RB27. Wait, let's look at I think this is like an aggregate what I'm looking at. I can't be certain, but this aggregate has like Jalen Warren at RB27. I like him a lot where he goes. I think Jadarian Price is fine. I think Ramondre Stevenson's really good. I think J.K. Dobbins is really good down there at RB36. I think Kenny Gainwell is a smash at 35. So, do I need to take 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds? I would be comfortable getting one and then waiting and getting a Dobbins, Gainwell, guys like that, to be honest with you. You can get Alvin Kamara late. So I don't know. I need to work through it a little bit more before I publish the blog, but I think there's more of a conversation, to be honest. Chris Olave, absolute smash, though. Kyle, do you keep Josh Allen, A.J. Brown, or Kenneth Walker, 12-man half PPR? I don't have a first, second, or third pick. I would keep Kenneth Walker, Kyle, personally. Really high on Kenneth Walker this year. If I have the opportunity to get Kenneth Walker in round 2, I would be fine going running back. But, okay, so what I was going to say. So say I don't get a top pick, right? And I don't get Gibbs or Bijan. I would rather take Chase, Puka, St. Brown over even CD. I'd be willing to put CD up in there. The JSN conversation's interesting, but I'd rather have St. Brown than Jonathan Taylor or McCaffrey. I'd rather have Chase or Puka than those guys. So there's a situation where I take one of those receivers, then I grab I grab a running back in the second round, and then I wait a little bit. It's kind of interesting to think through. I think CD is undervalued. I do like James Cook, though. If you pick at the back end of round 1, it's easier to double tap, right? Like if you can get James Cook and Kenneth Walker, like that's pretty hot, to be honest with you. I would be fine doing that. I don't have a problem, Kyle, with Josh Allen at all. He's my quarterback 1 for sure for fantasy, but in a managed league, I'm less inclined really to care about having a top quarterback. Like I think there's a chance like Kenneth Walker is one of the best overall players in fantasy, and I think just it'd be more valuable to have him. But Josh Allen's a stud. I mean, you're not getting any pushback from me. If you really want to keep Josh Allen, I wouldn't push back on it. But I have a lot of conviction around Kenneth Walker. I said it in the short I made. we'll talk about it when we get to the AFC West division preview, whenever I do that. But, I think the Chiefs, part of the problem with the Chiefs last year, on top of just being the unluckiest team in football, they didn't, I don't even know if they won a one-score game last year, right? Like, it is a big correction in the one-score game market for Kansas City. On top of that, just being unlucky, they've really struggled offensively because of the lack of a run game. Teams sit as far back as they can against Patrick Mahomes, and they just make you pick them underneath. And they know there's no threat of a big run. So it's like they don't have to account for anything else. Kenneth Walker is going to change that. Kenneth Walker is an explosive running back. And I think with Mahomes coming back from the injury and just the way that teams play the Chiefs, like, there's going to be some spots for Kenneth Walker to really have some big games. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good team, Kyle. But yeah, so that Jordan Tyson piece of news was pretty big. Really, really bumps up Olave. I was already higher than consensus on Olave anyways, but probably going to have a good bit of him on my teams that I'm drafting over the next few weeks. The Manung guy is interesting. Definitely helps Swift out a little bit. I saw Biotish for the Chargers. The center went down. We'll kind of see what comes of that. Parker Washington, I saw, was like day-to-day. I don't think it's like super concerning right now. It was an undisclosed injury, so we don't even know what it is. Breece Hall, I think, is okay. So that's kind of my thoughts on like the bigger injury news. Agree, Mike. You said, what's up? These injuries getting out of hand. It is. I think it's pretty early. I will say, though, another reason why I'm less inclined to go running back. It's been like historic the last few years of running backs avoiding like serious injuries. And I do think like the Grim Reaper's coming at some point. So I could see like Bijan Robinson's never missed a game in his NFL career. Like, you really expect that to continue? Probably not. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. I'm worried whenever anybody has the same consensus take. I've said this countless times on stream. The groupthink is at an all-time high in fantasy football. Every single just person that I didn't even know did fantasy content that does fantasy content is saying you got to start running back. That is concerning to me. I think we might have to zig when others zag, to be quite honest with you guys. So we might have to think outside the box this year. Might have to get a little dirty. Just see how it works. But if you guys have any other fantasy questions, go ahead and ask. I will have my updated top 100 fantasy rankings embedded into my draft article that's coming out before the weekend. So make sure you guys tap into that. I'll make sure to tweet it. Also, I just finished recording the week 1 NFL DFS DraftKings first look salary video. Another season of doing those videos. I'll have those every week during the season. We like to do the one. I usually do it when the salaries first drop, but I was a little bit behind. I think when they came out, it was Fantasy Football Expo weekend. Because they came out on a Friday. So I'm just a little bit behind. So playing catch up. I just recorded that video. It will be up after the stream ends. I'll tweet out the link and post it and all that stuff. Make sure you guys go watch that. Show some love on that video. And then my in-season content schedule will be coming out a little bit closer to the season. Obviously, I'll have tons of content here. Through Rolling Insights, we'll have daily live streams every day, Monday through Friday plus Sunday. So it'll be lots of streams. I can't remember how many streams I did during the season last year. I think it was like 110. So I would like to beat that number if possible this year. See if we can do something to beat that number. But the in-season Rolling Insights content schedule will be coming out soon. And then you guys know I'll be covering DFS main slates and all that good stuff, betting picks and tons of different stuff. All right, let's get into the NFC East preview. And like I said, if you have questions, go ahead and drop those in. Looking at the odds here, we have the Eagles at plus 120 to win the division, Dallas at plus 215, Washington at plus 475, and the New York Football Giants at 6-1. I think this is a 2-team race between Philly and Dallas. I think if we start at the bottom here with the Giants, I literally went on a rant about the Giants the last stream I did. I think the Giants are going to stink. I'm not worried about the Giants whatsoever. There has never been a team Ed, okay, thank you for asking this question, Ed, because I just was about to get in on this right now. I think the Giants are going to stink. There's never been a team that feels more, and I could be completely wrong. I said this last week. If I'm wrong about the Giants, and I've been wrong before, I'll come on the stream and I'll say, yo, I was wrong. I have no problems admitting that. But my football brain thinks that there's never been a team that feels more like a 7, between 6 and 8 wins, I'll say. So I guess like 8 wins, really, you don't stink. I wouldn't call that stinking, but it kind of feels like the Giants feel very popular to me for like people want to bet on them to either go to the playoffs, win the division, Super Bowl. I swear I saw a thing that said the Giants were the most bet team to win the Super Bowl. I don't really believe that, but I swear I saw that like a couple months ago. But it just feels like they're like the darling team this year. And I understand it, right? People like Jackson Dart, John Harbaugh coming in. The problem for me is it's priced in. Like they obviously have good odds. You know, they have the worst odds of the division to win it, but that's because their division's really good, right? Philly and Dallas are really good. So it's just tough to expect that. If we looked at to make the playoffs odds, they're plus 255. Like that's not too bad, right? Like you're getting some decent value there. It just feels like I don't know. I really just can't put my finger on it. I don't trust their offensive coaching staff whatsoever. The schedule's really tough. That's a great point. Schedule's tough. I don't trust their offensive coaching staff. I don't trust their main players to stay healthy. I don't like to factor in injury stuff because it's just there's no way to predict it, right? But if I were to predict an injury, like does Jackson Dart not feel like the least likely quarterback to stay healthy? Like I don't know. He already was in the tent in the preseason game. Like it's just concerning to me. Now I think the Giants defense is gonna be really good. They definitely could do more in the turnover department relative to what we saw last year. Their pass rush we know is going to be sick. So I think the defense is going to be really good, and it's going to keep the Giants are going to be in games for sure. But with the schedule and the offense being on like thin ice, I just worry about them. So I'm lower than consensus on the Giants. Yeah, stadium obviously is a concern. I mean, dude, the stadium, Jamal Adams just got hurt in that stadium over the weekend. So I'm lower on the Giants. I don't think the Giants have a chance to win this division personally. So I'm out on them. Washington, Dewan. I know you're a big Washington fan. I really wanted to like the Commanders. The Commanders feel cursed to me or something. I really wanted to buy into the Commanders. I like the idea of David Blau calling plays here, getting Jaden Daniels more under center, more play action, taking deep shots down the field. It's easy to buy into a bounce back season from Jaden Daniels. Like he was so good as a rookie. Like it's not hard to paint that case that he could have a big season. But they've already lost Jeremy Tunsil. And there's not a loss bigger than Jeremy Tunsil on this Commanders team. Other than Jaden Daniels, like Laramie Tunsil getting injured is such a big critical loss that it's just like it's too much to overcome, in my opinion. I swear, if I would have did this video before the Tunsil injury, I would have been talking up the Commanders as like a sleeper team in the NFC. I don't know if they can do it without Tunsil. And they have a pretty rough schedule too, to be honest, to start out at least. So I'm kind of out on the Commanders at this current stage of things. So that just leaves Philly and Dallas. I think it's a 2-team race. I want to buy in to the Cowboys bouncing back. If you told me right now that the Cowboys had a league average defensive metrics across the board this season, I think Dallas is in the mix for the NFC Championship. Their offense is so sick. I think, Dak Prescott's always been underrated. The run game, I'm iffy on that. But Dak Prescott is so like able to manage that offense. And CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are just so sick. Like they're such complementary pieces to each other. If they stay healthy, the offense, and we saw it last year, their offense was so good and the defense was so bad. Oh, Jim, that's a great point. Are we betting the Jets? The Jets did not have an interception last year. Are we betting the Jets? Jim, we will be betting Cam Ward to throw an interception week 1. Let's see what the odds are. Can I bet on that already? I know we're like off track here, but I don't care. I'm glad that you brought that up. I want to see. Let's see. Do we have odds for this? No, I need week 1. Here we go. Titans, Jets. Where are you? Dang, no props listed on DraftKings at all. Hold on. Let me go back to the divisions. It won't be on screen. Let me check FanDuel real quick and see if they have props up. Because I'm just curious. How do I see? Here we go. Week 1. Titans, Jets. No props there either. So no props up yet. But yeah, we'll be betting Cam Ward interception week 1. Lippy. I think Lippy's an OG, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I've known that name for quite some time. Is McBride at 403 a reach? If yes, who should I take? 10-man Dynasty League. I mean, without like Lippy, can you provide some? Can you give me like 5 players that are available in addition to McBride so we can make that decision a little bit easier? Yeah, Rams Cowboys over in late December. I love at looking at these like look ahead bets that we could take. Speaking of that, if you guys saw my tweet last week, I've locked in. Jim, I know you're tapped in. I already locked in my first touchdown bet of the season. It's in the Rams and 49ers game in Australia, Thursday night football, week 1. I've already locked in a touchdown, and we got really good odds on this, to be honest with you. By the time we get to this game, I think these odds are going to be significantly less than what they are right now. I really liked, particularly the 2+ touchdown line that we got was egregious. 80-1 is all I'll say. Yeah, I agree with that, Dewan. I agree. I don't disagree with that. It's just like Tunsil is like so good. And I agree with Dallas. We have seen this movie before, 100%. Their defense will probably stink again. But the offense, Dewan, you can't deny that the offense is nasty. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is so good. Even Jake Ferguson's solid, but like George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is such just a good duo. So I could buy into a bounce back from Dallas. It just comes down to their defense. We know what the offense is going to do. You know, the defense is another question. And then we have Philly. Philly has a very easy schedule relative to the rest of this division. Like I think Washington's schedule is pretty hard. New York's a gauntlet. Philly has a pretty easy schedule. Philly's defense is good. We know that. Again, what are we getting from the offense? A.J. Brown gone. Will that help or hurt? I think most people would say hurt, but it could help. It could be addition by subtraction because of the kind of chemistry in the locker room perspective. Okay, McMillan, Zay Flowers, Breece Hall, Scat, Devonta Smith. So McBride are those. I might go Zay Flowers. Lippy. I might go Zay Flowers. Could A.J. Brown leaving be addition by subtraction? Yes. What will Sean Mannion be able to do calling the offense? I don't know. Will Jalen Hurts run the football more? I don't know. Will the offensive line hold up? I don't know. Oh, we don't draft until 7:30 tonight. Okay, I thought you were like in the draft currently. I definitely like Zay Flowers more than McBride. Mekhi Lemon, I like. I liked Mekhi Lemon coming out of USC. What will he give you in week one? I don't know. He's already, or not week one. What will he give you in year one? I don't know. He's already missed a bunch of time. That's not good for a rookie receiver, right? We don't like to bet on that. They are dealing with wide receiver injuries to one. Yes, I don't know. It's interesting. I think Philly, top to bottom, best team in this division. Again, that's why they're plus 120. But what will we get from the offense? What will we get from Jalen Hurts? What will we get from the offensive line? There's questions. There's more questions around the Philadelphia Eagles this season than there have been in the last 5. And that's why I wish we didn't get this Tunsil injury, because I'd be willing to take a long shot in this division. But I'll say it, the one, I don't think Washington can overcome that. Can they prove me wrong? 100%. And I hope they do. I like Jaden Daniels. I like Terry McLaurin, the one Ohio State guy. Always been a fan. So I'll be looking for a team to prove me wrong, whether it's Washington or the Giants here. But I think this is a 2-team race to win this division. And I'm going to go with the favorite, Philadelphia Eagles, to take it home. Saquon bounce back year. I could see him bouncing back. I think there's question marks around him too. You know what? No, we're not. We're taking the Cowboys to win this division. We're taking the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East. So on my predictions currently, we have the Detroit Lions to win the NFC North. We have the Dallas Cowboys to win NFC East. I'm sorry, Dewan. And I hate the Cowboys, quite honest with you. I hate them. But I'm going to pick them to win the division. It's a win-win because either I'm right and they win the division, or they suck and I can come on here and make fun of all the Cowboys fans. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. But I like Dak and I like CD and I like Pickens. I wish they were on any other team because it'd be easier to root for them. I can't trust Dallas in December either. Dewan, I appreciate you, bro. You know I love you. I love you. We'll see what happens. But that's my pick to win this division. Let's see if we can find, so we found those weird Jared Goff props last time. Let's see if there's anything. I don't like any Super Bowl bets in that division. Dallas, I'd like if they were 50-1. I do not like 25-1. I can tell you that. So I don't like any Super Bowl stuff here. I don't like any conference stuff here. Let's look at awards. MVP. I do think if Dallas wins this division, Dak will be in the MVP race because he's going to have over 4,000 passing yards, assuming he stays healthy. He's going to have a bunch of passing touchdowns. I'm not going to take it, but I could see the argument for that. I think CD and Pickens cannibalize each other too much to take them for an Opoy. Don't like anybody on their defense from a Depoy perspective. Don't like anybody from an O'Roy perspective. Could you talk me into a defensive rookie of the year? Maybe. Yeah, I don't see anything from the awards market that I like here for Dallas or any of these other teams, to be honest with you. Unless I'm missing something. Next player to record 400 plus passing yards. We took Jared Goff in this market on our NFC North stream. I do think you could build the case for Dak Prescott for sure. Let's look at the Cowboys schedule though. I know they play the Giants week 1. I think that's primetime game also. I think home against the Commanders, shootout against the Ravens, October 8th against the Buccaneers at home. That's definitely 400 passing yard range there. So he could do it. I feel better about Goff, but he could certainly do it. I don't hate that. Yeah. What about to make the playoffs? Dallas. Double your money. I don't take futures unless they're 3-1 or greater because I don't want to tie my money up for that long on something to double my money. But I do think plus money, double your money on Cowboys make the playoffs is interesting. Could maybe include them in a parlay. But yeah, I think that about does it for my NFC East picks. If you guys have any other questions, get in the Discord, rollinginsights.com. Scroll down to the social links. You can join that Discord for free. If it doesn't work for you, reach out to me directly on Twitter. I will give you the Discord link. You can ask me any questions you want in there. I will be in there, during the football season, sweating out all of our picks. First look, week 1, NFL DFS salary DraftKings video will be out right after the stream. I'm about to upload it right now, so go show some love on that. I will be live tomorrow at 4 p.m., and we will talk about another division. Not sure which one yet, but we'll talk tomorrow. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see everybody tomorrow at 4 o'clock.